Good morning, and welcome to Redeemer Lutheran Church in Columbia, South Carolina, where we're part of the ELCA. I'm Pastor Gary Lodeholt. Sometimes near Easter, churches sometimes hold Seder dinners and highlight all the things in that dinner that connect the Passover with Jesus and Easter. I've been at this pastor thing a while, so I've had an opportunity to attend some of those from time to time. And they often make points about things that we have talked about this week. The same points about unleavened bread, the lamb, and so on. But the one part I remember most involved the cup Jesus offered at the Last Supper. This is a good place to remind you that as Jesus and his disciples celebrated the Last Supper, they were actually celebrating the Passover meal called a Seder. They were celebrating a meal that joined them with the salvation God had worked for their people. And during that meal, Jesus gave new meaning and instituted a new meal of salvation that we continue today. As we wrap up this week of seeing connections between the Passover and the Pascha, or said using words we might be more familiar with, between Passover and Easter, we end by talking about the cup. One of the cups at the Passover Seder is the one that has always captured my imagination. It's not a cup they drink from, and in fact, if they did, it would defeat the purpose of that cup. Remember that Jews were always on the lookout for the Messiah to come, and they understood that before the Messiah would come, Elijah would come back to announce the Messiah's arrival. So when they celebrated the Passover, they put one cup on the table filled with wine to the very brim. This is called the Elijah cup, and it rests on the table full to the brim so that you can see if the liquid is disturbed in any way. If it is, then the presumption is that Elijah has come and taken a sip, thereby announcing that the Messiah is near. I found that really interesting. However, the other cups are interesting too. In Jewish tradition, the Passover meal includes 4 cups, each tied to God's promises in Exodus 6. The first cup connects the promise of the Exodus itself. I will bring you out. The second cup that is drunk points to the meaning behind God's action and God's love for them. I will deliver you. The third cup is similar and relates to another of God's promises. I will redeem you. The fourth cup at the meal points to God saving and claiming them. I will take you as my people. This is what Jesus and his followers were celebrating on that night of the Last Supper. And it was during that meal that Jesus took some of that unleavened bread and told them, "This is my body," and that they should remember his death for them any and every time they ate it. Let me briefly go back to Monday when I taught you the Hebrew word zakar, a word that means to remember in a way that makes it real again. Remembering the way zakar means it is to participate in the original event. As they celebrated the Passover, they were joining in the Exodus themselves, experiencing the salvation God enacted for their people. Then when Jesus said, "Do this in remembrance of me," that's what he means there too. We join with him, participating in the salvation he gives, fresh and new, as if we were there in the upper room. There, during the meal, Jesus took the cup and did the same thing, saying, "This is my blood. Do this in remembrance of me." Ah, but here's the thing. Which of those 4 cups was Jesus holding when he said that? Most scholars believe Jesus used the third cup, the cup of redemption. In his suffering and death and resurrection, Christ saves us and makes us his own. We are claimed and belong forever. We are loved. When we drink from the cup, we are united not only with Christ, but also with one another. The same Christ who forgives you forgives the person beside you. The same grace that restores you restores the whole body of believers. In a world fractured by division, the cup gathers us. In a world hungry for meaning, the cup satisfies us. In a world thirsty for hope, the cup refreshes us. Do this in remembrance of me, Jesus said, and in that remembrance the act of salvation is made new. More, we are made new. See the cup lifted. It holds a promise sealed in blood, offered in love, received in faith. Thanks for sharing these moments with me, and remember to let this day belong to God.